I hope that you all enjoy the puberty video. Good times. You know, everybody gets embarrassed about this time of year having to watch the puberty video and talking about puberty, but we all go through puberty, every single one of us, and it's just a fact of life. So your teachers had sent to me some of the questions that you had asked. They said that they answered quite a bit of them in class, but one of the questions was, I have 3 brothers. What if one of them finds out? Well, your brothers also have a mom, and moms get periods too. It's a fact of life, and you know, you can try to keep it for your brothers if that makes you feel better. Otherwise, talk with your mom or dad and say, listen, you know, I'm worried about them finding out, or if brothers start teasing, that's when you need to get your parents involved, okay? And my response to that, if my brother were to tease me and be like, you know what, it's a fact of life. Why are you talking about it? You're a boy, right? Second question, should we have an extra pair of pants in our bags? During the week of your period, it wouldn't be a bad idea to at least have an extra pair of underwear in your bag. If you wanted to bring an extra pair of leggings, just in case, that'd be great too. Nurse Kelly always keeps extra underwear in her office, just in case, you know, girls start their period at school. Having said that though, if you get a little bit of blood on your underwear, it's really not a big deal, right? Throw on a pad and pull your pants up, and you'll just wash your underwear when you get home. Speaking of underwear, I always tell my girls to keep period underwear because you get it every month. Why ruin all of your underwear, right? So keep those nasty underwear for the times that you're on your period. That way, if you bleed, you're not going to ruin a really nice pair of underwear. Number 3, do we ever have to use tampons? You don't ever have to use tampons. That is just personal choice. Sometimes people don't like the bulky feeling of the pad in their underwear. Sometimes, you know, if you want to go swimming, tampons are really nice because you can wear them. You don't have to worry about, you know, having a pad on. I do not suggest wearing a pad in water. So while we're on the subject of tampons, girls, a lot of you don't know this, but you actually have 3 holes down there in your bottom. You have your urethra, which is, it's actually your urethral opening, which is where your pee comes out of. And then just below that is the vaginal opening, and that's where the period blood comes from. That's that canal that goes up into the uterus, where if once you get older, choose to have babies, that's where the baby comes out of too, is the vaginal canal, the vaginal opening. And then just below that is your anal opening, where your poop comes from. So you have 3 holes down there. This tampon actually goes into the vaginal opening. And when you open it up, some tampons are different, but they look like this. And then when you go to insert them, you just push it in until your fingers touch your body, and then you push the plunger. And then this part stays up in the vaginal canal, and it's really stretchy up inside there. It has to be because that's where our babies come from, but it kind of shrinks down and it'll just kind of hold on to that tampon. This string here is meant to stay on the outside because when you change your tampon, you'll just pull this and it comes out. I'm going to show you what tampons do when they when liquid touches them, which is they soak up the blood. So this is just a cup of water. I'm going to dip the tampon in there, and you saw what it looked like before, right? Well, look how big it gets. Now this is a dramatic example because the tampon is not going to come out of you that big. And it looks scary and terrifying, but it's really not. But it soaks up the bloody drainage. And you should never wear a tampon more than 8 hours. They'll say 6 to 8 hours is safe. You never want to wear a tampon longer than that because you can get a really bad infection and it gets kind of smelly, okay? This is a pad. Let me grab a pair of underwear, I forgot, just a second. And these are a really bad example because they're really tiny. I just grabbed the first pair I could get. So these are your underwear. Sometimes it's easier to change your pad if you're sitting with your underwear on your knees to kind of hold it open. And you just open up the pad, take it out, and then you just affix it to the inside of your underwear. Like I said, this is a bad example because this pad is bigger than these underpants. And see what I'm saying? It's much easier if it's on your knees and holding your underpants open. A lot of them have this little tab in here. You just pull that off and then bring the little wings, they call them wings, around the edge. And then that way, it protects the edge of your underwear just in case you have any kind of drainage with movement. Sometimes the period blood doesn't stay on the pad if you're really active. Pads have come a long way. They're really, really thin. So that makes life easy. Back in the day, they used to be like this thick and it felt like you were wearing a diaper. When you need to change your pad, just peel it off and then roll it up. If you still have the wrapper, like if you're at home, you can roll it back up in the wrapper. Otherwise, just use tissue paper and throw it in the trash. Changing your pad, you need to change it like every, I don't know, every 4 hours or so. If there's just a little bit of drainage on there, you can get by going longer. However, if there's a lot of bloody drainage on there and it's soaked or saturated, then you need to change your pad, okay? It's especially important that you girls are taking showers every day when you're on your period. You need to make sure your bottom is washed and clean, pat dry, because with extra drainage comes extra bacteria and extra smell. Speaking of that, you may, if you haven't started your period yet, when you do, don't be scared, because a lot of girls don't know what to expect and they see all this blood and they think, they're gonna bleed to death, and that's not the case, okay? Imagine putting a drop of red food coloring in a cup of water. It instantly just spreads and gets, it turns the whole thing red, right? And in that video, it told you, I think like 7 to 8 teaspoons or something like that, tablespoons of blood, which is not a lot. But at first, it gets scary because you're not expecting it, but it's completely normal, okay? Number 4, is it weird to tell a boy teacher if you have a period? Well, number 1, it's a fact of life, it happens. Number 2, you never have to tell your male teacher. In fact, I can guarantee you that if you ask Mr. Hilton to go use the restroom, he's not gonna question you, because he knows that 6th grade girls get their periods, okay? So don't even sweat it. Number 5, this is a really good question. I like this one. What foods should you not eat on your period? I have been told that eating lots of junk food, chocolate, caffeine can attribute to cramps. And why we get cramps is because our uterus is a big muscle and it contracts to push that bloody drainage out. So it's important to try to stay away from caffeinated beverages. Make sure you're drinking lots of water and getting exercises. Sore muscles like to be worked, right? Just walking. Same with your uterus, it's a big muscle. So if you have cramps, it's good to walk. Make sure you're eating fruits and vegetables, because when our hormones during like the week before your period, you might notice you get some acne. All of that's normal. Just make sure you're eating fruits and vegetables and drinking your water, lots and lots of water. Will I have cramps all the time? No, not all the time. Usually day 2 and 3, if you're going to get cramps, is the day that it's gonna happen. But if you take those precautions the week before and stay away from the junk food and the caffeine, hopefully that'll help alleviate that. Sometimes you have to take medicine if your cramps get too bad. So make sure you're communicating with your mom and your dad or whomever if you're having really bad cramps. Also, if you have really bad cramps at school, you can come see me. I have Tylenol, ibuprofen, and I also have a heating pad. Sometimes having a heating pad on your abdomen over your belly really helps with cramps as well. Number 7, when you have a child, do you still get your period? Most generally when you're pregnant, no, you do not have a period. After you have baby, yes, you will resume your monthly cycle. Most women don't stop having a period until they go through what's called menopause, and that is usually late 40s, 50s, maybe even into your 60s, but typically by the 50s, you're done. Anyway, so if you have any other questions, if anything I've spoke about in this video makes you think of anything else, you are always welcome to come talk with me, okay? Always, always, always find an adult that you trust, whether it's me, a teacher, but I especially encourage you to talk to your mom or your dad. If you don't feel comfortable with either one of those, just, a grandparent, an aunt, a sister, somebody that can help you, okay? If you start at school, no big deal. You'll just tell your teacher you need to use the bathroom. You can come to me, and I always keep supplies in my office for you girls, okay? I hope you are enjoying your new life in the middle school. I miss you guys down here, and I will talk to you soon.